And I think there are four big things, four big ideas that he would want to say about law today. I think there were things he was saying in his own generation, and they still apply. First, there is an objective morality, what we would call a natural law, to which all human activity, including human law-making activity, is answerable. There is a good order to human relationships, and laws which contradict that good order are not to be obeyed. Second, Augustine would say that any system of justice is, in the end, a system for promoting and protecting certain common objects of love. A society is as good or as bad as its choice of the things it loves and the extent to which its loves are well ordered or disordered. Third, Augustine would say that legal systems have only limited authority and only have limited ability to promote virtue. So the focus of law ought to be on preventing the worst excesses of evil, but demonstrating the maximum amount of mercy as they do so. And fourth, Augustine would say that no human system of justice lives up to its claims. All fall short and are to be challenged in the name of truth and on behalf of those whose voices are treated as worthless. But before turning to those four big ideas, let me talk a little about Augustine's magnum opus, The City of God, and about the ways in which that book has been read and received over the centuries. Because I think if you want to understand what Augustine thinks about law, you have to understand the context in which he wrote The City of God. And that context is quite extraordinary. In 410 AD, Rome was sacked by barbarians. Do you remember where you were when 9/11 happened? Do you remember that feeling of how things were never going to be the same again? We thought we got rid of the Cold War. We thought it was the end of history. And then 9/11 happened and we suddenly thought, oh, hello. Now, imagine if what had happened was that Osama bin Laden had marched his armies into New York and had raped and destroyed and pillaged his way through Wall Street and Manhattan. And you are here in England, on the other side of the sea, trying to reflect on what that meant for civilization as you know it. Because that is Augustine's context. Rome, the eternal city, the guarantee of the Pax Romana, has fallen. Civilization is at an end. 1,000 years of history are over. And Augustine spent the next 14 years writing The City of God to try and make sense of it. And to try to make sense of it, to challenge one particular narrative. And the narrative ran like this. For hundreds of years of history, the Roman Empire was successful and got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger when it was committed to paganism. And then Constantine converted to Christianity, and within 100 years of this new soft religion being adopted as the official religion for Rome, Rome has fallen. Conclusion? The minute you turn Christianity into your state religion, you go soft, you lose ground, you get defeated. Now, The City of God is a great work of literature. It's also, to be fair, a work of literature that could really have done with a copy editor. Because it is sort of enormous and it sort of meanders all over the place. And it's really tempting to read it in the kind of abridged versions. But actually some of Augustine's most interesting and provocative thought comes out when he's just having a discussion about some Roman gods or something that happened in ancient Roman history or whatever.